Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North, and it could change the game forever. We're talking about a seismic shift that might redefine the Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power move that could leave division rivals stumbling and scrambling for years to come. This is a story unfolding right before our eyes, and as dedicated fans, we need to be on top of every twist and turn. So buckle up, Lions Nation, because what's coming next could be historic. Before diving deep into this game-changing rumor, I want to remind all true Detroit Lions fans, subscribe to the channel. This isn't just about numbers, it's about building a community of passionate supporters who want to see Detroit rise to the top. Let's grow this family, push past 1-0 subscribers, and shout our Lions pride loud and clear across the digital universe. Share this with your friends, fellow Lions fans, and anyone who believes in Detroit's bright future. Now let's get into the thick of it, because what I'm about to share could be one of the most significant rumors in recent NFL history. All right, so let's talk about the buzz that's been circulating around the NFL rumor mill, the kind of news that gets every Lions fan's heart pounding with excitement and anticipation. According to multiple credible sources, insiders with close ties to both teams, the Detroit Lions are making a serious push to acquire Kansas City Chiefs star defensive tackle Chris Jones. This isn't some idle speculation or a baseless rumor. It's a potential blockbuster move that could reshape the NFC North and send shockwaves across the league. The proposed deal. Detroit is reportedly willing to send a first-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft and a conditional third-round pick to the Chiefs in exchange for the dominant interior defender. This kind of trade, if it comes to fruition, would be a testament to the Lions' aggressive approach and their desire to contend for championships now, not later. Let's take a moment to understand the context behind this move. The Kansas City Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champions with a 10-7 record in the 2025 season, wrapped up their campaign with an early playoff exit in the divisional round, falling short against the Bengals. While their success has been impressive, especially with Patrick Mahomes leading a dynamic offense, their defense has been a mixed bag, particularly against the run and in generating pressure up the middle. With the recent extension of Mahomes, which has already set the NFL record for annual average salary at around $60 million, the Chiefs find themselves in a cap crunch. Trading away Chris Jones, who is arguably the best interior defender in the league, could free up approximately $24 million in cap space for 2026, enabling them to address other needs, especially on the defensive line and secondary. Now, from the Lions' perspective, this potential acquisition could be nothing short of transformational. Detroit's defense has been steadily improving under the guidance of head coach Dan Campbell and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn. Their unit, which ranked around 10th in the league in sacks last season with 42, has shown flashes of elite play, but lacked that singular disruptive force on the interior. Adding Chris Jones, a player who has been a dominant force since his debut in 2016, would elevate their front seven to a new level. Jones, who stands at 6'6", 310 pounds, is a nightmare for offensive lines. His explosiveness, combined with his size and strength, makes him an elite run stopper and a relentless pass rusher. Over his career, he's accumulated 85 sacks, including 11, 5 in 2025, and has consistently been among the league leaders in pressures and quarterback hits. His pressure rate last season was a staggering 48 pressures on roughly 200 pass rush snaps, leading to a win rate against blockers of about 25%. That's elite production. In addition to his pass-rushing prowess, Jones is a top-tier run defender, tallying 9 tackles for loss in 2025. His ability to collapse the pocket and clog running lanes would be invaluable for Detroit, especially considering their goal to strengthen their run defense, which allowed roughly 110 rushing yards per game in 2025. Statistically, a player like Jones can increase a team's run-stopping efficiency by approximately 16%, making it significantly more difficult for opponents to establish their ground game. This would be particularly impactful against NFC North rivals like the Vikings, Bears, and Packers, teams that emphasize a balanced attack, with a strong running game and play-action passing. Let's take a moment to analyze the impact of such a move in more depth. Detroit's defensive line, featuring players like Aiden Hutchinson and Josh McNeil, has been promising but has yet to reach its full potential. Hutchinson, drafted 5th overall in 2022, has shown flashes of brilliance, recording 5 sacks in his rookie season and 8.5 in 2023, but was limited slightly by injuries in 2024. McNeil, a second-year player, has developed into a reliable interior presence, but adding Jones would give the Lions a true game wrecker. Imagine a front featuring Hutchinson, Jones, and McNeil, a combination that would cause nightmares for quarterbacks and offensive coordinators alike. The ripple effect on their pass rush would be profound. Opposing offenses would be forced into double-teaming Jones, freeing up Hutchinson and McNeil to exploit one-on-one matchups. This could propel Detroit's sack total into the top 4 league-wide, potentially pushing their number past 55 or even 60 sacks for the season. Such a dominant pass rush would not only pressure quarterbacks, but also create turnovers. The Lions, who are already on the cusp of a plus 14 turnover margin in 2025, could see that number spike even higher, translating into more short fields and scoring opportunities. From a strategic standpoint, the Lions are making a calculated gamble. They have roughly $26 million in cap space for 2026, and investing in a player like Jones, who is only 30 years old but still at his peak, makes perfect sense given their championship aspirations. The team's defensive growth has been evident, but this level of talent could push them into elite territory. Their secondary, anchored by safeties like Kirby Joseph and cornerbacks like Emmanuel Mosley, would benefit immensely from the extra pressure up front, allowing them to play more aggressively and take more risks. Historically, acquiring a disruptive interior defender has been a game-changer for NFL teams. For example, the Indianapolis Colts acquisition of DeForest Buckner in 2020 was a pivotal move that increased their pressure rate by approximately 21%, leading to more sacks, turnovers, and ultimately a playoff run that nearly ended in Super Bowl LIV. Similar results could be expected here if Detroit manages to land Jones, a player who has been a multiple-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro, and who consistently grades among the top interior defenders in advanced analytics. Now, let's explore the implications for the Chiefs. Losing Jones would be a blow, but the move might be necessary for their long-term flexibility. Kansas City has struggled at times against the run, and their interior pressure has sometimes been inconsistent. While losing a player of Jones's caliber would weaken their front, they could focus on developing younger players like George Karlaftis, who showed flashes of brilliance in his second season, and new draft picks. The cap space gain could be reinvested into other areas, such as secondary help or linebacker depth. But the risk for Kansas City is real. Their run defense could suffer, and their pass rush might lose some of its edge without Jones. That could open the door for NFC North teams like Detroit, Minnesota, or even the Bears to exploit. Still, the Chiefs' philosophy has often been about maximizing their window with Mahomes, and this trade would reflect an aggressive attempt to stay competitive in the short term while managing cap constraints. Now, turning back to Detroit, this move isn't just about immediate wins. It's about setting a tone, a statement to the rest of the league that the Lions are serious contenders and willing to make bold moves to get there. The Lions have been quietly building a competitive roster through smart drafting, shrewd free agent signings, and strategic trades. Their recent draft class, including standout players like Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell, shows a franchise that's committed to growth and excellence. Adding Jones would be the finishing touch, providing the veteran star power and disruptive force needed to take them over the top. From a historical perspective, Detroit's journey has been long and arduous. Since their last Super Bowl appearance in 1991, the Lions have gone through rebuilding phases, coaching changes, and roster overhauls. But in recent seasons, under Dan Campbell's leadership, they've shown resilience, grit, and a newfound confidence. Their 2023 season marked a significant improvement, finishing with a 9-8 record and narrowly missing the playoffs. In 2024, they took another leap, finishing with a 10-7 record and securing a wild-card spot, only to fall short in the postseason. The addition of a player like Chris Jones could finally be the catalyst that tips the scales, helping Detroit break through their postseason barrier and make deep playoff runs. The NFC North itself is evolving. Green Bay is in a rebuilding phase, Chicago is on the rise with young talent like Justin Fields and a revamped roster, and Minnesota remains competitive with Kirk Cousins leading an offense that has weapons like Justin Jefferson and a solid offensive line. The Lions, with their aggressive strategy, are positioning themselves as the team to beat. The potential acquisition of Jones could be the move that cements their status as division favorites and a true threat to reach the Super Bowl. Looking ahead, the expectations for Detroit are sky-high. If this trade materializes, it would immediately elevate their defensive stature, making them one of the most feared units in the NFL. Their chances of making the playoffs would increase significantly, and their Super Bowl odds would skyrocket from +4,500 to a much more favorable position, possibly around +1,500 or better, depending on how well Jones integrates into the scheme. The coaching staff would have a new level of flexibility in their game plans, knowing they have one of the league's most disruptive interior players anchoring their defense. It's also worth noting that Chris Jones's leadership and professionalism would be a boon in the locker room. He's a proven winner, having contributed to Kansas City's Super Bowl victories in 2019 and 2023, and he's known for his work ethic and high football IQ. His presence would help mentor younger players like Aiden Hutchinson and Josh Paschal, fostering a culture of excellence and accountability. In conclusion, the potential trade for Chris Jones represents a bold, strategic move by the Detroit Lions. It signals their intent to not only compete but to dominate. It's about making a statement that Detroit is no longer content with being a playoff team. They want to be champions. The move could reshape the NFC North, challenge the league's hierarchy, and finally put the Lions in the Super Bowl conversation. For fans, this is the kind of news that fuels dreams of a brighter future. A new era of Lions football marked by relentless pressure, fierce competition, and the pursuit of history. So, Lions Nation, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe this move will happen? Would Chris Jones be the missing piece to finally bring Detroit a Super Bowl? How do you see this affecting the team's outlook for 2024 and beyond? Drop your comments below, share your predictions, and let's keep the conversation going. Stay tuned, because I'll be back with more updates, analysis, and exclusive insights on this developing story. Detroit Lions fans, the future is bright, and it might just be about to get a whole lot brighter.